Every so often, you will gaze upon a scene that baffles the mind. Its true nature seems obscured and enigmatic, almost beyond the scope of ordinary humans. Yet, when you shift your vantage point and adopt a fresh lens through which to examine the puzzle, everything suddenly clicks into place. Without this willingness to change perspective, the secrets of our past will remain eternally veiled like a perpetual enigma. Throughout the history of archaeology, explorers of our ancient history have consistently unearthed remarkably peculiar discoveries. At times, these enigmatic finds present themselves as minuscule artifacts, bizarrely out of sync with the context of their surroundings. On other occasions, they are of monumental scale, audaciously evident, as if they've been hiding in plain sight. Today, we examine a case that fits into the latter category. It defies any straightforward earthly rationale and challenges us to question everything we thought we knew about our past. In 1927, Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Zespi made an astonishing discovery while investigating pre-Incan ruins near the Nazca plain. As he navigated through the rugged foothills of the nearby mountains, Mejia Zespi looked down and observed perfectly straight lines cutting through the desert landscape. These formations were unlike the naturally occurring lines one might expect in such barren terrain. Instead, they seemed to have been deliberately crafted by human hands, almost like mysterious pathways had been etched into the earth itself. Initially, Mejia Zespi didn't give much thought to his discovery, dismissing the lines as ancient Incan trails. The Incas were famed for their extensive network of paths, notably one such path known as the Inca Trail, stretching 43 kilometers, 26.12 miles, in length. However, as time passed, Mejia Zespi suspected that they might hold more significance than he first believed. This curiosity led him to consider a closer examination of the lines. What he found was nothing short of breathtaking. Scattered across the secretive expanse of the Nazca desert floor lay enigmatic, colossal figures of animals etched into the earth as if the desert itself were a massive canvas for some grand design. 13 years following this incredible discovery, Mejia Zespi shared his astonishing findings with the world during a scientific congress in 1940. This was the start of a mystery that would captivate the imagination of generations to come. A year later, Dr. Paul Kasok, a distinguished American historian from Long Island University in New York, ventured into the heart of the Nazca region. Initially, his quest was to uncover Incan and pre-Incan relics. Kasok harbored a firm conviction that the Peruvian landscape concealed ruins yet to be discovered by modern eyes. However, traversing this rugged terrain on foot in search of them posed an incredible challenge. In a bold move, Kasok chartered an airplane to obtain a bird's-eye view of the sprawling landscape below. The initial leg of their adventure passed with little out of the ordinary. Yet, as the aircraft swept over the Nazca plain, a moment of astonishment gripped Kasok. Peering out of the window, he spotted what unmistakably resembled an airplane landing strip carved into the earth below. The peculiarity of this discovery was magnified by the fact that no airport was known to exist in that remote desert wilderness. As the flight progressed, Kasok's eyes caught an increasing number of peculiar lines crisscrossing the ground below. Some ran in perfect parallel harmony, while others resembled mysterious roads vanishing into oblivion. Intrigued by these enigmatic patterns, Kasok turned to the pilot, seeking insights. Unfortunately, the pilot could not shed any light on the matter. As he ventured further, he stumbled upon a colossal spiral, and just beyond it, he caught sight of the magnificent outlines of a giant bird, a spider, and a monkey etched into the earth. Moments later, the plane soared above a massive human figure, which seemed to raise its arm in a welcoming gesture. One could only ponder the whirlwind of confusion that enveloped Kasok at such a bewildering spectacle. With no historical evidence to suggest the Incas were responsible for these enigmatic designs, one is left pondering, if not the Incas, then who could have crafted these mysterious geoglyphs? As Kasok's feet touched the ground, he immediately sensed he had uncovered something extraordinary. Nowhere else on Earth could one find figures and lines of such staggering magnitude. He sought the expertise of archaeologists, yet they offered no solace or answers, as these enigmatic lines were beyond their understanding. It seemed that no one was able to aid Kasok in deciphering the mystery of the lines. In an astounding twist of fate, Kasok stumbled upon a German mathematician named Maria Riker. After revealing his fascinating discoveries to Riker, Kasok proposed that she apply her astute understanding of astronomy to the mysterious lines. This encounter ignited a passionate commitment within her and marked the beginning of her lifelong dedication to the enigmatic lines. Later, Riker became a staunch advocate for their preservation, a battle she waged fervently until it culminated in their recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Never wavering in her dedication, Riker nestled herself in a quaint, modest dwelling that also served as her office, located near the captivating town of Nazca. As the years advanced and she aged, her daily expeditions to continue her research became too arduous. In recognition of her unwavering commitment, she was graciously offered a permanent residence in the Nazca Lines Hotel, the most prestigious accommodation in the area. Riker peacefully passed away in 1998, at the venerable age of 95, within the comforting walls of this hotel. Her legacy is monumental, and her work is unparalleled. Her seminal publication, Geheimnis der Wüste, Mystery on the Desert, Secreto de la Pampa, stands as an essential tome for anyone drawn to the enigmatic allure of the Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines can generally be divided into three categories. The first comprises enigmatic straight lines that stretch across the landscape, traversing several hundred meters to over several kilometers. These lines, boldly carved through rugged terrains and scaling mountains in some instances, earn the awe and reverence of locals who affectionately refer to them as Las Líneas. In 1973, Mr. J. Hawkins marveled at their precision, noting that some lines boast such impeccable straightness they seem crafted with the aid of modern surveying tools. Astonishingly, the arid plains of Nazca may harbor up to 30,000 of these enigmatic lines, each weaving its own tale of ancient ingenuity and timeless wonder. The second category is a breathtaking collection of immense trapezoids and rectangles, which, when viewed from above, uncannily mirror the landing strips of contemporary airports. The grandest among these trapezoids stretches across a staggering expanse of 160,000 square yards. This analogy to landing strips first found its way into the public imagination through Erich von Daniken's bestseller, Chariots of the Gods. One wonders whether von Daniken borrowed this striking imagery from Kasok, who had earlier posited a similar runway-like appearance. The third category encompasses the awe-inspiring gigantic drawings, better known as geoglyphs. These creative pieces of art showcase a mesmerizing array of animals, human figures, and other, more enigmatic patterns. Among these, the condor, stretching an impressive 440 feet, 134 meters, across the desert sands, ranks as one of the most majestic and expansive artworks in the Nazca region. Countless theories and an equal measure of nonsense swirl around the enigmatic Nazca lines. Given their sheer number, delving into every hypothesis would be an unending task. Among the most outlandish suggestions is the idea that these are mere scribbles in the sand. This notion trivializes the creators, imagining them as ancient pranksters who wandered the desert, etching elaborate graffiti on a whim. Numerous individuals have suggested that the enigmatic lines might be linked to extraterrestrials, possessing the ability to soar through the skies and visit Earth at the very beginning of human civilization. At first glance, this theory might also seem far-fetched. Yet, one of the most bewildering aspects of Nazca is that, after a thorough exploration of the region, even the most skeptical observers are compelled to acknowledge that the theory of ancient astronauts demands serious consideration. One of the biggest questions concerning the lines is whether they are only visible from the air. However, delving into the depths of a Wikipedia article on the Nazca lines reveals a contrasting viewpoint. It states that, contrary to widespread belief, these enigmatic lines and figures are not confined to the aerial view. Indeed, they reveal themselves to those who venture to the surrounding foothills. But does this information hold true? Some of you might be curious about the direction we're heading in, especially since Zepp himself gazed upon the lines from the heightened perspective of the hilltops. However, it's important to recall that his view was limited to mere straight lines, which he struggled to discern against the vast desert expanse below. It was Kasok who, during his flight over the region, first caught sight of the colossal figures etched into the terrain. The assertion on the Wikipedia page captures one's attention not only for its significance but also for its purpose. It appears to be crafted to discredit the ancient astronaut theory. If it were confirmed that the intricate lines and figures are only fully visible from the air, it would cast doubt on many mainstream assumptions. This is precisely why scrutinizing the accuracy of this claim becomes crucial. For the casual observer, deciphering the truth behind the claims about the Nazca lines and the surrounding landscape can seem nearly impossible, given that access to the plains of Nazca and the adjacent hills is strictly prohibited. However, during my expedition in 2010, I managed to delve into the so-called forbidden zone and ascend one of the secluded foothills. It was there that clarity struck with swift precision, revealing the stark reality of what is visible and what remains hidden to the unaided eye. As you ascend one of the hills, lines stretch out towards the horizon, unbroken and infinite. So far, so good. Upon reaching the summit, your eyes follow more lines, and in the distance, these too are straight, though, from this vantage point, they blur into the landscape, and the true nature is barely discernible. I can now confirm that discerning the enigmatic figures etched into the desert canvas below from any of the surrounding foothills is absolutely impossible. I extend an open challenge to anyone, regardless of the sharpness of their vision, to spot a single figure amidst this vast, arid landscape. If you believe you have what it takes, capture it with your camera and share the image. I'm eager to witness it. In the 1970s, Maria Rika, the esteemed pioneer of Nazca research, funded the construction of a watchtower beside the Panamericana Highway with her own resources. While this metallic beacon does offer a glimpse into the ancient world, it reveals only fragments of the lines, including enigmatic, hands, and flower geoglyphs. Rika wouldn't have invested in such an endeavor, draining her already modest financial resources, if the designs were visible from the neighboring hills. Further cementing the belief that the lines were intended for aerial observation is that some of the figures are etched onto flattened mountaintops. It's beyond dispute, even for the harshest skeptic, that these creations are not meant for eyes peering from the surrounding elevations. The lines and geoglyphs were intricately crafted to be admired from the heavens, a truth that remains unwavering despite the attempts of some to distort it. The enigma then beckons. Why? Historical texts, notably those from the ancient civilizations of Sumer, Egypt, and India, whispered tales of aerial crafts soaring through the skies millennia ago. The Mahabharata, in particular, speaks of an array of flying machines with capabilities that boggle the mind, including some that could vanish into thin air. In the ancient heart of Mesopotamia, the laborers who laid the foundations of civilization probably regarded the deities as celestial beings endowed with the power of flight. Thus, when they sculpted their effigies, they meticulously chiseled wings onto their forms, capturing the essence of divine flight. Deep within the sacred confines of Pepys's tomb at Saqqara, an intriguing dialogue from utterance 310 echoes through the ages: "Which vessel shall be bestowed upon you?" To this, the solemn reply emerges: "Summon forth the soaring vessel, it flies and alights," hinting at a marvel capable of ascending to the heavens and gracefully descending back to the earth. Throughout the ancient world, there are countless instances of flight, of that there can be no question. The most fiery debate concerns the actual pilots of these mysterious devices. Were they the work of human ingenuity or the product of extraterrestrial beings vying for dominance over our planet? Returning to the pivotal topic of Nazca, we've now accepted a fascinating premise: these colossal figures reveal their true forms only from the heavens. With this understanding, our next venture is to delve into the sheer extent of these lines. However, this is no trivial pursuit for those with merely a fleeting acquaintance with the ancient Peruvian geoglyphs. The vast desert expanse of Nazca serves merely as one exhibit within an extensive gallery, displaying these mystifying creations. However, far beyond Nazca, closer to the town of Palpa, more lines emerge, giving rise to the term, the Palpa lines. One could argue compellingly that the Palpa lines are as captivating, if not more so, than their Nazca counterparts despite their scarce mention in documentaries or magazine articles. It's fascinating to observe that the celebrated geoglyphs are surprisingly the most recent additions to the lines. There's no need to delve deep into volumes of literature to unravel this mystery. Simply by examining the lines themselves, the answer becomes clear. The geoglyphs elegantly traverse over the linears and pistas in numerous instances, clearly indicating that they were crafted after the others. Soaring above Palpa, the first colossal geoglyph to meet your gaze is aptly, yet ironically for skeptics, named El Astronauta, the astronaut. This monumental figure etched into the mountainside gazes upwards toward the cosmos. With a spherical head and an arm raised in salutation, it seems to welcome travelers from afar, embodying a gesture of greeting that has transcended human history. But who is this peculiar figure greeting? For it certainly isn't the contemporary sightseers arriving for a fleeting inspection of these engravings. Imagine how bizarre it would have been for the ancient dwellers of this land to arise one morning and embark on the grueling endeavor of etching a colossal figure into the flank of a mountain without any discernible motive. El Astronauta marks merely the starting point of an awe-inspiring journey. Beyond it unfolds a breathtaking spectacle of colossal ancient craftsmanship. As the planes glide kilometer after kilometer, they reveal lines that stretch in parallel before halting abruptly. The abrupt cessation of these lines at precise points leaves us to only speculate about their enigmatic nature. Some lines are singular, stretching endlessly forward. They do not halt at the feet of towering mountains. Instead, they traverse directly over these colossal barriers. Engraving a perfectly straight path across the vast expanse of a desert floor presents a formidable challenge, yet extending this unbroken line over the undulating peaks of mountains while maintaining its unwavering direction borders on the realm of the impossible without the aid of sophisticated machinery. Amidst the vast canvas of the earth, colossal drawings of animals, hands, spirals, L-shaped formations, and circles intertwine. These lines sometimes intersect or merge into a singular nexus, creating a spectacle that stands as one of the most enigmatic sights on the globe. Indeed, its otherworldly essence almost convinces one that they've stepped onto an alien terrain. The mountain slopes were blanketed with an array of mysterious entities donning helmets or hats. They bore a peculiar resemblance to beings not of this world, seemingly striking a balance between alien and humanoid forms. One can't help but wonder what ignited the imaginations of the ancient people of Palpa and compelled them to create such extraordinary figures. And then, there's the matter of the antennae, a feature commonly associated with insects and various creatures. Yet, these forms do not mimic an insect's silhouette. Instead, they echo the structure of a humanoid. Imagine a vast mountain, its peak mysteriously sheared away as if by the hand of an unseen giant. Believe it or not, this is what we see while flying around the area. This stands as one of the most bewildering spectacles in any ancient terrain. The question of what tools or forces could have precisely sliced off an entire mountaintop lingers in the air. Erich von Däniken, in his groundbreaking Chariots of the Gods, keenly observes the absence of any debris surrounding the site. It's as though the mountaintop vanished into thin air. While some might argue for a natural cause, the evidence suggests otherwise. This is not merely a naturally flat mountaintop. It has been intentionally and meticulously leveled. Who or what executed this astounding feat remains a mystery, inviting us to only speculate about the purpose behind such an extraordinary act. But there's something else here that takes your breath away. A colossal mandala, meticulously etched into the crest of the mountain with astonishing precision. The geometric precision is awe-inspiring, evoking images of those intricate crop circle formations that have mystified England since the late 1980s. A mandala is typically a spiritual and ritual symbol deeply rooted in Asian cultures, yet here it is in Nazca, South America. In Asian traditions, mandalas are perceived through a dual lens. Externally, they serve as a vivid embodiment of the universe's vast expanse, and internally, they act as a sacred compass for various spiritual practices, including meditation. Rooted deeply in Hindu and Buddhist beliefs, these intricate designs symbolize a mystical journey. By venturing into the mandala and navigating towards its heart, one embarks on a transformative odyssey. This journey mirrors the cosmic evolution from a realm of anguish to a haven of bliss and fulfillment. From the unique vantage point of an airplane, every direction you turn unveils a mesmerizing canvas of geoglyphs sprawling across the landscape. The expanse, stretching over an impressive 535 square kilometers, is literally a canvas adorned with intricate lines and enigmatic shapes. These markings claim the slopes of mountains, the vastness of plains, and the summits of hills as their own. Year after year, the mystery deepens, and the excitement grows as new lines and geoglyphs emerge, revealing themselves far beyond the famed Nazca plain, each discovery expanding the boundaries of our wonder. These aren't just arbitrary doodles. Instead, they form an astonishing enigma that appears to challenge all rational explanations. Collectively, they carry a deep-seated message, a mysterious missive from bygone eras, yearning for interpretation. As I've pointed out previously, the myriad of interpretations and hypotheses surrounding the Nazca lines is as vast as the lines themselves. Each year, a new publication boasts to have decisively deciphered the enigma. The roster of these claims is so extensive that it could easily sprawl across numerous pages of a magazine. Here are a few captivating theories suggested for the enigmatic purpose of the Nazca lines: a vast sports arena of colossal scale, an elaborate astronomical calendar inscribed upon the Earth, a sacred temple devoted to the veneration of water, a sophisticated apparatus for the precise prediction of solar eclipses, a grandiose map charting the contours of the ancient world, monumental scripts or symbols representing clan insignias, and the boundaries marking their dominions. Certain theories might resonate more than others, yet they share a singular flaw. While they might illuminate fragments of the enigma, they stumble and falter when faced with the broader picture. A common oversight among these theories is their failure to recognize that the intricate lines and geoglyphs are visible only from an aerial perspective. This crucial detail is gradually gaining acknowledgement, not solely among proponents of ancient astronaut theories but also among advocates of lost civilization theories. In a bold leap towards unraveling the mystery, Mr. Jim Woodman posited an enthralling hypothesis: the ancient Nazca civilization might have soared through the skies in hot air balloons to craft their enigmatic geoglyphs. Embracing traditional craftsmanship, he meticulously constructed a balloon, employing weaving techniques that have been lost to time for a millennium. Fueled by the billowing smoke, he ascended over 300 feet into the air with Julian Knott by his side. Julian Knott writes, "The moment Jim Woodman presented his captivating notion that the creators of the Nazca lines might have soared above their creations in hot air balloons, my curiosity was piqued, though I remained cautious. Yet, shortly after, we were ascending into the sky aboard a balloon that the Nazca people themselves could have constructed a millennium ago." Knott continues, "While direct evidence of the Nazca civilization taking to the skies eludes us, an undeniable truth emerged: they possessed the capability to fly. And so did the ancient Egyptians, the Romans, the Vikings, indeed, any civilization, armed with nothing more than a loom and the mastery of fire." Regardless of whether one aligns with his hypothesis, Knott and Woodman deserve commendation for their bravery in conceding that embracing the concept of ancient aviation is crucial to unraveling the enigma of Nazca. Surprisingly, Nazca isn't the only canvas for sprawling geoglyphs. These massive Earth sketches grace landscapes across numerous nations, and each year, the keen eye of modern satellite technology unveils more of these hidden masterpieces scattered around the globe like secrets waiting to be revealed. Satellite images reveal an intricate web of geoglyphs woven into the Andean foothills encircling Lake Titicaca. This vast network of deliberate patterns stretches over 100 miles southward into the heart of the Bolivian desert. These lines are not merely random. They exhibit a meticulous geometric repetition, a testament to an intelligent design. This phenomenon is not unique. Across the globe, from the rolling green hills of England to the vast, rugged landscapes of Russia, the arid expanses of Saudi Arabia, the mysterious deserts of Chile, and the diverse terrains of the North American continent, we find similar giant geoglyphs. Therefore, in order to take another step forward, we must view Nazca from a broader, international perspective. Why did our forebears, spanning every corner of the globe, engage in the labor-intensive task of crafting vast images, ones they couldn't even see upon completion? Why not opt for smaller, more manageable creations that were easier to see and upkeep? The answer unfolds with striking simplicity. They aimed to forge a connection with the gods. These celestial beings, as inferred from earlier discussions, possessed the remarkable ability to soar through the skies. Indeed, the concept of flying crafts was not alien to the ancient world. It's actually entirely rational to etch immense representations of animals and humans into the earth if your goal is to send messages to and curry favor with the gods soaring above. This perspective sheds light on why these figures were crafted on such a grand scale. They needed to capture the attention of divine beings from a great height. Indeed, one doesn't necessarily need to conclude that extraterrestrials piloted spacecraft to explain the phenomenon. It suffices to believe that ancient peoples witnessed objects soaring through the heavens. Although an actual craft has yet to be discovered, the wealth of evidence found in old texts and artifacts strongly hints that such occurrences were not mere flights of fancy but a tangible part of their reality. In the remote, untouched corners of the Earth, merely a century is enough for a foot of dust to accumulate. Vast deserts and frozen expanses on our planet are capable of swiftly engulfing objects as large as cars, effectively erasing them from sight, possibly forever. Then, there are the numerous floods and cosmic events our planet has endured. Therefore, it's entirely conceivable that one of these machines might be concealed just beneath the surface in some forsaken area, silently awaiting its rediscovery. But what about the intricate lines, vast rectangles, and mysterious landing strips that stretch across the landscape for miles, etched into plains and rolling hills? It's baffling to think why anyone would go to such lengths to create these enigmatic designs. As noted earlier, some of these lines run in parallel, abruptly end, or intersect each other in a seemingly random fashion. The key to unraveling this puzzle is surprisingly straightforward. We simply need to adopt an open-minded approach and, most crucially, cast our gaze skyward. Believe it or not, the ethereal Nazca lines grace our skies almost daily, basking in the glow of a cheerful sun. Today, we recognize these celestial sketches as contrails. For those residing under the bustling paths of major flight routes, it's common knowledge that under perfect conditions, contrails can linger for countless hours. On days bustling with aerial traffic, numerous lines can remain etched against the canvas of the sky simultaneously. Gusts of high winds then take to these trails, morphing them into shapes as varied as trapezoids or even more intricate patterns. Could it be that the ancient Nazca people were attempting to emulate these very phenomena? Imagine the awe-inspiring sight of what appeared to be divine beings, etching lines across the heavens, transforming before the eyes of the ancient Nazca into ever-changing shapes and forms. This remarkable phenomenon must have seemed nothing short of miraculous to them. Convinced that these celestial designs were messages intended for their eyes alone, they felt compelled to respond. Driven by a sense of purpose, they ventured into the vast plains, meticulously recreating the intricate patterns they witnessed in the sky, carving them deep into the earth as if to communicate with the heavens above. In the sky, lines intersected and tangled, dictating that the same pattern must unfold upon the earth. These celestial strokes, unyielding to the rugged defiance of mountains, demanded that the terrestrial counterparts traverse these natural barriers with equal indifference. Each day, the deities sketched new designs in the heavens, a constantly evolving canvas that necessitated faithful replication below. This relentless mimicry might explain the dense re-inscription of lines that now blanket the ground, each layer a testament to our ceaseless endeavor to mirror the heavens. At times, a deity would descend, leaving chariot marks etched into the earth. On other occasions, they dispatched envoys bearing the gifts of advanced knowledge to enlighten the mortals on the marvels of civilization. Each site graced by their presence was henceforth deemed sacred. Yet, as the epochs passed, the celestial patterns ceased, and the divine visits dwindled to none. Had the deities harbored wrath? What led them to abandon the canvas of the sky, no longer adorning it with their celestial trails? And why did they forsake their terrestrial landings? The ancient Nazca populace was left to ponder, desperate to uncover the rites that might appease these heavenly beings and coax them back to the earthly realm once more. In the dimly lit chambers, where the air was thick with incense and the walls whispered ancient secrets, priests and kings would gather in solemn assembly. It was within these hallowed discussions that a grand decree was born, to command their people to etch the forms of colossal beasts and mystical figures into the very earth and stone of the land. They sought to please the celestial beings with depictions of creatures both revered and feared, a monkey with eyes as deep as the forest it sprang from, a spider with legs spanning the breadth of rivers. When these offerings did not suffice, they turned to the majesty of a whale, its form vast enough to embrace the seas, and a human hand, its fingers stretched wide in a plea for divine favor. Yet, the silence from the heavens was deafening. In a final, desperate bid to capture the attention of their celestial spectators, they envisioned something unprecedented. They chose to sculpt one of the divine visitors themselves, as they had seen them, clad in peculiar attire, a helmet obscuring their visage, standing upon a mountainside. This figure was not just any representation. It was a monumental effigy, its arm outstretched in an eternal greeting or perhaps a silent bid for communion. This, they hoped, would bridge the vast chasm between earth and sky, between mortal and divine. Meanwhile, another faction found themselves tasked with etching an ever-growing network of lines into the Earth's surface. As decades melted into centuries without a sign of the gods' return, the tale of these celestial beings who once painted the skies became a deeply ingrained legend, passed down through countless generations. With each telling, new details were embroidered into the narrative. Yet, as centuries stretched on and the gods remained absent, these meticulously carved lines were gradually forsaken. A message from the gods? An intriguing exploration of this topic is tucked away on the internet, like just about everything else of value these days. In the years 1972 and 1973, the United States embarked on an ambitious journey by launching two spacecraft, Pioneer 10 and 11. These vessels were the first creations of humanity to break free from the confines of our solar system. While scientists tend to approach claims of extraterrestrial life with a healthy dose of skepticism, the visionaries behind these missions harbored a refreshing sense of optimism. They crafted twin plaques from the shimmer of gold anodized aluminum, intended for any alien civilizations that may be lurking in the cosmos. Tasked with an extraordinary challenge, the team set out to encode a message universally decipherable by entities of advanced scientific intellect. This endeavor required a delicate balance, the simplicity to be grasped at a glance by any intelligent being yet laden with the depth and complexity to truly convey the essence of our species. Crafting such a message was far from straightforward, yet the result was a masterpiece of ingenuity. The plaque portrays a striking image of a man and a woman poised against the backdrop of the spacecraft to which it is affixed. The secret to unlocking the plaque's message lies in the emblem located in the upper left corner. This symbol represents the hyperfine transition of neutral hydrogen. Nestled at the bottom of the plaque is an artistically rendered depiction of our solar system, clearly indicating the origin planet of the probe. Among the most striking features of the plaque is the intricate star-like formation dominating the left side, serving as a key element in its design. I won't describe the plaque in full detail since it would require at least 10 minutes. Suffice it to say it was no small feat. It was a meticulous endeavor rooted deeply in scientific inquiry and thoughtful consideration. The point is that the plaque was a highly detailed message, designed to leave clues not just to our location but also to our level of advancement. Could the enigmatic Nazca lines also be a deliberate communication from an extraterrestrial source, offering us a subtle clue about their origins? The male figure on the plaque is waving, just like the astronaut at Nazca. If Nazca is an extraterrestrial message, will we ever decode it? Are we on the cusp of a monumental discovery? Will some Einstein of this day take one look at Nazca and suddenly see what has been staring us in the face all along? Whether left by an extraterrestrial race or not, Nazca is a cryptic message that is just waiting to be unraveled.